Privilege. Privilege can be the advantages in your daily life, the way you benefit from the institutions and structures of society, and rights that you have that others may not have. All of this based on your race, class, and other identities you may hold. Ally. Being an ally is a lifelong process of building relationships of trust and accountability with marginalized groups. This is important to understand your differences and help work toward their justice and liberation. Activism is taking action to make social change through a focused campaign, whether political or social. Because one has the privilege to not have certain concerns, they must examine these areas to better understand what marginalized groups go through. Raoul's male privilege means if he chose not to have children, society wouldn't hold that against him and his character. His privilege means he wasn't taught to fear walking alone after dark as much as women are. His privilege means he is less likely to face sexual harassment at work. Dimitri is assessing his heterosexual privilege. For him, his heterosexual privilege means he's never asked to speak for everyone who is heterosexual. His heterosexual privilege means his school curriculum will include material that testifies to the existence and contributions of people with his sexual orientation. His heterosexual privilege means he can see his orientation represented throughout mainstream media. These are all privileges people of color also may not have. We all have different privileges. That means we can all be an ally to some marginalized group.
So, how to be an ally? Step 1. Allies need to listen. In order to help marginalized and oppressed people, you need to be able to listen and understand their issues and their problems. If you're more concerned with trying to take over and do what they need help with instead of listening to the problem, sometimes you can find yourself, not taking in everything that needs to be taken in order to make progress. Step 2. Ally is not a noun, it is a verb. So in order to be an ally, you have to actually be active, you have to be correcting people when they do something wrong, i.e. microaggressions, which leads us to our next step, step 3. Ally is not a self-proclaimed identity, so you can't just claim being an ally as part of your identity. You have to actually, like I said in step 2, be active and be willing to be a part of the movement. And you also have to gain the trust of the people who you are helping so that they know that you are an ally and you're not just saying it to say, oh, look at me, I'm someone who aligns myself with this marginalized or oppressed group of people. So you have to use it as a verb, as I said, step 2, and not just make it a noun and be a part of your identity, because that's not what it is. And if you're doing that, it's wrong.
Activism means to me being politically conscious, recognizing your privilege, understanding systematic oppression and institutions, actively being aware and organizing. It also means supporting each other's struggles and not just staying quiet. It also means that when there are marginalized groups and silenced groups, that you don't just sit there idly and just be in silence, because then you're no better than the oppressors. I'm an activist first by birth. It's in me. I'm a person of color, I'm a woman, I'm Muslim, I'm marginalized in every way. But how do I recognize what are the systems that exist? Being a post-colonial woman, what does that mean? How am I willing to recognize the privilege that I am to live in the West, to be able to get educated, and at the same time be conscious about other issues that are bigger than me and you and I and all of us, and using my power, whatever little power that I may or may not have, recognizing and using it for the broader good of humanity, of social justice, of us Activism is like that. Once like things radicalize you, you can't go back. So if people start to understand that it's a radicalization of the mind, and understanding that if you're gonna live and be socially responsible for yourself and other people, you're gonna have to be active. And so it's just like breaking away from that comfort zone. Well, oh, we can all just get along and blah blah. Like critically analyze. Like it's not just, oh, we'll get along. You make it so I don't have like food to eat. Can we really get along? You bomb my freaking country. Now I don't have anywhere to live. Can we just get along? Do you know what I mean? It's bigger than that.
So, we're going to bring all of this together and talk about what it means to be an activist. You know, truly using all your allyship skills and applying it in a way that's really going to make an impact in your community. As an activist, it's really important to show up. You know, it's activism and organizing and all these other forms of activism. You know, by showing up, it shows that you care. You know, people power is power. You may not have the money to throw out an issue, and you may not have, you know, a political or influential power as like your position wise, but we are the people. We are the voting people. You know, so people power is important. Showing up, come in packs, roll deep. You know, you just gotta do that to show like there are people here, we're raising our voices, you have to hear us, you know, and we're not going to stop until you hear us. That's what people power shows. You may feel weak by yourself, but we're strong together.